What is going on, guys? We are back playing some more Enigmatica 6, and today we're going to be setting up some biofuel production and making some fancy infinity tools that will then put that biofuel to good use. Now, I'm sure most of you know at this point that I absolutely love Industrial Foregoing. I have had a ton of fun in this series messing around with the mod that I've never really got to play around with before, and I'd say that this room is a testament to that, along with some of the others in the base. Honestly, there's so much Industrial Foregoing stuff going on, and so it should be no secret that I am super excited to mess around with the infinity tools, especially the infinity drill, and see just how much power we can put into it, and if we can completely fill it up by the end of the series. But there's some other stuff that we need to take care of in today's episode before we jump into that. So if we come out here into the main room and we take a look at my inventory, things may look a little bit random in here, and quite honestly they are, because a lot of this stuff is completely unrelated to what we're doing today and completely unrelated to the other stuff around it. So you can see we've got some Industrial Foregoing add-ons in here, we've got some mechanism stuff, some storage drawer stuff, refined storage stuff, lots of different things going on in here, and it took a while to make all this stuff because it's all over the board. But if you recognize some of these maybe from the comments of last episode, a lot of you guys gave great suggestions as always, and if you guys don't know, I read every single comment on every single video, even if I cannot respond to all of them, and I appreciate all the suggestions you guys give. So we're going to take the first part of this video to implement all of those suggestions that I can possibly do. So I think it should be pretty fun because these should make my life a lot easier. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is upgrading the metallurgic infusers. And honestly, this one is a little bit shameful because I have to admit, I totally forgot you could upgrade these things. We've got our ultimate enriching factory right here. We've got our ultimate smelting factory right here. We at least have our basic crushing factory right here. And so you'd think that I would have upgraded these, but honestly, it totally slipped my mind, mainly because in the series I've played with Mechanism so far, I have never needed so much alloy before. Now though, it's becoming a little bit of a bottleneck as we saw last episode. So I have made 4 of every tier installer for these so that we can just go up from the base tier all the way to the highest, and then I want to test out making another ultimate induction cell to see how much faster it is when we do it with all of these upgraded. So we are just going to go one at a time all the way down the line, and honestly this is super satisfying for me because now the wall looks so much cleaner, except this one's going to be a problem. I need to upgrade this too. I don't know why it's not, but it's going to bother me that this is now green and the rest of these are all purple in a line here. So there's a lot of colors going on in this wall. Lime green, yellow, purple, green, blue. I need to try to do my best to actually sort that out. But either way, these are now fully upgraded in here. They're ready to go. And that is a lot of processing slots in there, which is going to be super nice. But I went and I let a little bit more lithium dust get produced, so we have enough for at least one more ultimate induction cell. So we're going to come in here and let's see. So we want one, we want to start it, and let's go to our crafting monitor and let's see what it's going to do. Now, it's probably still going to take a while, admittedly, but last time, if you remember, it took, I believe, 23 minutes or so to finish. So right now we are at 20 seconds and it is at 5%. So this is so much faster than the prior setup, which is great. And we can watch it kind of speed through this. I'm curious if we go and look at these over here. Yeah, so it's not even filling these up completely because it's really slow to pull the items out. So you know what? I wonder if we came back over here, and is it slow because of the crafters that are putting stuff in there? If we put some speed upgrades in one of these, is it going to speed that up? I've never done this before. Okay, yes, it does. So I do have some stack upgrades. I wanted to use these for something else, but we might need to make some more speed upgrades and some stack upgrades so that we can upgrade those. Now, I do have additional speed upgrades in here that I've made. I don't know if we have additional stack upgrades in here. Yeah, I don't. So I might just put some speed upgrades in these for now, but we should be able to do 4 of these. And there we go. So these are filling up more now. So eventually I'll put some stack upgrades in here, but you know what? Speed should suffice for now. And these ones really don't need them, but these should now be able to go a lot faster. So let's see the timing now, because this should now really be yeah, okay, so now it's going up pretty quickly. You can see we are at 50% at about 1.5 minutes. So if we had had those fully in there, ready to go with the speed upgrades and potentially stack upgrades, so they would be running at full capacity, this probably would have been even faster. But honestly, if this finishes in about 2.5, 3 minutes compared to 23 minutes, that is a huge improvement. So first suggestion from you guys, and a lot of you posted this, awesome suggestion. Huge mistake on my part for having a brain fart that big and forgetting to do that, but either way, it's taken care of now. It looks nice and clean, and I appreciate that suggestion from all of you. Now, the next suggestion is one that I am super unbelievably excited for, and it's because it's Industrial Foregoing related, and that is this right here. Now, this is a new add-on called the Processing Add-on, and this is the Tier 2 version. There's a Tier 1 and a Tier 2, and this is relatively new. So I had to update to a newer release of Enigmatica 6 to get the new Industrial Foregoing version. And again, this was probably 1 or 2 updates ago for Industrial Foregoing, so really, really fresh. But this is going to allow us to process, instead of 1 process at a time when it completes, going all the way up to 3. So if you can imagine, for a lot of these machines, having it do 3 times the work in the same amount of time is pretty crazy. So I am super excited to go through, and it even works with the laser drills. So the first thing we're going to do is upgrade all of these and see just how fast we're pulling in ore from this ore laser base. So right now, we're going to take a moment to kind of calibrate our expectations here. So look at the rate at which this is going up and just kind of get used to that. Enjoy the yellow bar gradually increasing. And then when we come back, I will have this fully upgraded, and we will take a look at just how fast this goes. Okay, so the upgrades are in, and moment of truth, this is now the rate at which the bar is going up. So it's definitely very fast compared to what it was before. Obviously, it was nothing to scoff at before, but now it's getting up there. So we can always do 1 more layer of these laser drills if I slightly adjust how this setup is, or I think I don't even need to do that. I think I can still fit 1 more in if I put them 2 levels below these underground. So we could double the speed of what it's running at right now. So I should probably do that soon, because that'll be as close to maxed out as I really want to get it. But I am loving these things. The ability to increase the speed of machines further if you are willing to invest some resources. And the recipe for these really isn't even that much. It's latex, some diamond gears, which are no issue because we have like 100,000 diamonds right now. And then just some regular stuff for crafting it. So glass panes and redstone and all that. So really not that bad. I love that update. Huge props to the creators of Industrial Foregoing. Great update, just the chef's kiss of an update for that one. But we can also put them in some of these machines over here. So it's a little bit weird because I think these can have 2 put into them, but it will only use 1 as far as I'm aware from testing. So a little bit kind of buggy there, but we're just going to slap 1 of these in each of these machines. I do not know how it interacts with the fermentation station. The reason I say this is you can put them in here, but we're processing a full thing at any given time. So tripling the amount of processing that happens doesn't really work because you're doing it all at once. But we should be able to put in the speed tier 2 upgrades in, because we can put the processing upgrades in here. And it looks like we ran into another issue. Wow, that's funny that I find that on camera. So this looks like it's one of those other things that we need to come back here and adjust in our system. So what was that? We had to do it over here. So we got to go to our controller. Man, this is throwback to last episode. So we were inserting it into the, not this one right here. We're inserting it from this one right here. I believe potassium nitrate. If we look at the uses for this, there is no way. Yep. So it ends there. So we need to come down here, and I was just looking at it. We need to put it in here. So that should fix the backup in here. This is the first time I have noticed that, but there we go. The benefit of being able to click things back in there too. But either way, if we're able to put in the processing upgrades in all of these, that'll allow us to process out this ore faster And that was the reason we had to slow down the fermentation station to start. So theoretically, if you're processing this technically 3 times as fast, then we should be good with the speed tier 2 upgrades. Now, I'm just going to put these in there. I don't know if the timing works out perfectly because this is going to basically cut it in half. So maybe even a little bit more than half. So I think it should work out, but I should keep an eye on this. Maybe we need to change it to speed tier 1. Maybe we need to remove the efficiency one. I don't know. But either way, this is a huge boost to our ore processing speed and a huge boost to our efficiency of every single Industrial Foregoing machine overall. Huge thank you to the Industrial Foregoing team for putting that in. Huge thank you to you guys for reminding me that that's even a thing and getting me to update the pack finally. And you know what's even better? Our quest book didn't even reset, which is one of the main reasons why I try to avoid updating this when I can, is because a lot of times this resets and I don't know how to avoid that. But as we can see, it didn't reset. And we can see my lack of progress on all of these quests. But either way, that's besides the point. We are now on to the next suggestion. So the next suggestion was a solution to the sand problem that I brought up last episode. So if we take a look in my system, sand has now become the second highest block in here. It's got 55,000. It's going up. If we look at the total, it's almost consistently going up. I guess it's actually emptying faster now because we're processing chunks so fast. So it's actually going to start going down. But once we get through our backlog of all these chunks, which we will eventually, then it's going to start going up again. So we still need to have this solution, although the Industrial Foregoing update kind of partially Band-Aid fix rectified it. So that's just how good that team is. But either way, the solution that a ton of you guys suggested was to use storage drawers with an external storage from Refined Storage with a storage upgrade and a void upgrade. So all the sand can be stored in there and then get voided when it gets full. So we'll still have sand in the system. And if it's ever going down, it will replenish itself later, but it'll never go over a certain amount that we set it to. So we're going to come back in this wall right here, and we're not going to totally destroy it. We're going to be careful with our pick, and we're going to go just to a random area to work with, because I don't want to see this when I'm, out in the main area of the base, because let's be clear here, it's an ugly oak drawer. So we can just put it like right here, and we'll just hook up the external storage. Now, I have never used this before, so this will be interesting to do on camera, and if I cut, you'll know something went just like horribly wrong that I just don't know how it works. But let's bust out a torch here so you guys can actually see what's going on, and we should be able to set priorities for this and whitelists for it. So I believe it is on, we want to whitelist sand, so we want that, and we want to have it as a priority of 1. So now all the sand should come in here. And this is why we have, can we not put upgrades in here? What? There's no way. There's no way. Okay, so my best guess for what's going on here, and I could be totally wrong, but because the system is now using more sand than it produces, and we can actually fix this, we can see if this is the case, because we still have extra processing upgrades that can go in here. And I don't know, I think this should, yep, it should make it go a lot faster. This is kind of weird how it upgrades these, because it's skipping steps. So it's going right to making the sand. That's super weird. But we need to grab out the cobblestone then. But I believe because it is producing sand and then taking the sand, and right now we're actually using more sand than we're making, it's not filling up in here. So my concern about this being really slow is kind of irrelevant. As we can see, it wasn't that it was slow, it was that it was only having the ability to put in like 1 or 2 sand and then take them out. So I still feel like you might be able to, put upgrades in here somehow. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't have any cap though on how fast stuff can go in here or not, because it's just a direct link to the storage system. And I'm confusing it with the mechanics of the importing and exporting. But either way, this was the suggestion. Now we're going to upgrade it. Now we're going to void it. So what should happen here, theoretically, is if we wanted to move all of our sand, or I don't know if this would move over on its own, or if we need to transfer this using like an importer or something from our disk over. But either way, the point is that all our sand should now go in here eventually, we'll have all our sand over here, and it'll have a max limit. It'll keep trying to send it here, and it'll eventually start voiding it if we ever hit that limit. So it's not going to take up additional storage space in our system, but we will have a sufficient amount laying around as a backlog in case we ever want to craft stuff with it. And that was a great suggestion. Obviously, I need to work out the logistics of figuring out if I need to manually move this sand over or use like an importer, or if things are only getting pulled over there that are now newly produced sand coming from those into here, or if it's moving sand from the discs over. I don't know. If you guys want to give me some info on that in the comments, since you seem to know so much about that, feel free to let me know. But that is the third suggestion down. And I think that's the last one. Another suggestion that someone gave that I thought was really cute was get kitty slippers for the creeper issue. These are from artifacts though, and I believe I just have to find these. I don't know if there's any way to like target getting them, but if I find them, I'll use them, because look at these. I mean, come on guys, look at these things. I got 3 cats. I'm a guy that would wear these things. I'm a guy that would wear those just because who doesn't love slippers? I'm pretty sure all I wear now, unless I'm out in public, just so you guys know, because I work from home, all I wear are slippers. I'm wearing them right now. Nice pair of LL Bean slippers. So, yep, totally living the degenerate work from home life for the last year plus, and wearing pajamas and slippers all day. And if I can do that in Minecraft too, I'm going to do it, because look at this guy right here. Look at me. I'm wearing this like uncomfortable looking stuff right now, and we need something that's comfortable. So we gotta find these sometime. But that was another suggestion that I can't really do right now, but if I could, I would. So I saw it. But now we should be able to get into the actual stuff for today's episode, which is going to be more industrial foregoing, setting up biofuel production, and making some infinity tools. So the first thing I want to say before we start setting this up, another thing in the industrial foregoing room, by the way, is that the biofuel we're making today is different than the biofuel we made before. And based off of what I have seen, it is critical that you use the correct biofuel, because the infinity tools, which will use biofuel in place of power, which is really important, and we'll go over why later if you don't know anything about these very fancy infinity tools, but it needs to be the purple fancy biofuel, not the disgusting, looks like it just came out of the backside of a cow biofuel. So we need to make the specific industrial foregoing one using the bioreactor, and there's a couple ways to make the bioreactor a little bit more efficient. We'll kind of be doing that today, but really all I care about is automating it to produce some biofuel so that when we use the drill, it will use that in place of power, which is really the important part of it. And to do that, we're going to be using the immersive engineering garden. And let's have the debate, guys. The garden cloche, the garden cloche, the garden the garden whatever, okay? The thing that looks like a super weird steampunk, like, I don't even know. So I've been told that I've said it right before, and people say that I'm saying it wrong when other people say I'm saying it right. I don't know. I've just given up on it at this point. But we are going to be putting them down right here. And we're going to use 6 of these, because we are going to have 3 set up for nether wart, and we are going to have 3 set up for potatoes. So we're going to put soul sand and nether wart in the first 3, and we're going to put potatoes and dirt in the second 3. And we're going to be alternating these for the reason that when you have the bioreactor, it is going to increase the amount of production of biofuel when you have more variation in the things that can go in it. I don't know what you'd call them. It's going to take like saplings. It won't take things like melons or pumpkins, but it'll take seeds, and it will take dyes, and it will take skulls. So it's got some weird criteria for what it's going to allow in there. But if you include more things of different varieties, it'll produce more biofuel for every single one of those. So if you think about it, if we put a potato in there and a nether wart in there at the same time, you might get 100 biofuel per piece. So 200 total. If we put 2 nether wart in there, we might get 80 per piece. So you're going to be getting 160. So you will actually get more for the same number of things if you have more variety that's being processed at the same time. So you could do a lot of stuff to get this to be perfect. I think the max you can have is 9 in there, and you can get like a crazy amount. I'm not too concerned with that. This should be fine. But now we need to start hooking these things up. So we are going to put down our bioreactor somewhere over here, but I first want to get the items being pulled out the front of these. We'll get the power hooked up to the top. We'll get the water hooked in the back. We'll see where all of that lands us, and then we'll go from there. So we're going to put down our logistical transporters, and we got to go through and set all of these to be pulling stuff out. Do I have anything to build with in my inventory? I do. So we can get up here. Again, I posted asking you guys about creative flight on a poll on the channel today when I'm recording this. And I need to get that soon because that would make my life so much easier when we're doing all this stuff like this. I said we're probably going to go with Enigmatica, which we are, but oh, I forgot. I tear through stuff too fast. Okay. Well, we'll have to rebuild this anyway. Oh my God. Okay. Another suggestion. Let's see it. Nope. That's okay. Well, we're supposed to be able to hold C to crawl. And I was going to crawl in there and impress you guys. But, okay, well, I need to fix the keybind, so we'll deal with that later. But I saw the suggestion. So that's what this episode's all about, is me acknowledging that I saw the suggestions that you guys gave and, and trying my best to implement them. Okay, so I think I have mentally planned out how I want the rest of this to go. So we are going to shave off these spruce logs up top here. I don't really know what we're going to put down in place of them to make it look nice, but we're going to be putting down ultimate universal cable at least along the top of these right here to power them. And then we're going to be bringing it down right here. Again, I'll figure out what we're going to put back there. Maybe we'll just put more of these there and there, so it looks fine. I don't know yet. But we're going to bring that power down here. Then we are going to be putting down our bioreactor right over here. And we need to set up our sink so that we can get water. And we're going to be putting down the bioreactor right here above where this lime terracotta is. And so we need to go down a couple blocks, not that many, but a couple, I guess. So we'll just kind of cover this up right here. And we're going to put down our sink right here. Now, this isn't super critical, but we could just pull right from the sink into the bioreactor, but it's a lot slower than having a mechanical pipe there, especially an ultimate mechanical pipe pulling from this, because the bioreactor pulls a lot slower when it's just pulling for its input. So we're going to have this then, and then we're going to run this behind here. All of these should now have water in them, so that's good. And we should be good then to put down our quantum entangloporter right here. And then we're going to go to power the new channel that is all ready to go. And we are going to be outputting on all the sides. Now these should actually start running, which is great. And we should be good to put down our bioreactor right here. And that should get both water and power. And then all we need to do is put down another ultimate logistical transporter right here. And it's done. So when these finish growing, and they're really not going to go that fast, obviously there's only 6 of them, and I know there are other options to use. I still love the immersive engineering garden Klausch block. Other than saying the name of it, thanks to people telling me it's wrong all the time. But I really like these. I like how they look, and so I like now that we kind of have filled out this room a bit with some stuff, and you can see that this is now producing. It consumes 1 of these each time, and it's got an efficiency of 22%. If we were to take 1 of these out, it goes to 11. So that might not seem like great efficiency, but it's double what we would get otherwise. Now I may need to adjust. I think we might need 2 nether wart and 4 potato, because we might get more nether wart than potato, and we want to try to keep it even. But we're just going to toss down a simple black hole tank right next to this. I'll put it down right here. We're going to hide the display because it's a little bit not that great looking. And then we're just going to push out of here. So we're going to store it in here. We'll have, ability to store 1 million millibuckets of it, which is great because that's exactly what we're going to need to fully fill up our infinity drill, which is really the tool we're going to be focusing on today. I should probably make this look nice though before we go on to that, just because if I don't do it now, I'm probably never going to do it. And then I'm going to kick myself when I go to make the thumbnail and I want to take a picture of this and it looks like crap. So I'm going to fix this. We'll take a look at how it looks, and then we will go and do the infinity drill stuff, and then we'll finish off the episode. Okay, so this is kind of where we stand with all this. Obviously, it needs a little bit more tweaking, but for now it looks fine. I need to figure out what I'm doing. Maybe I put down another one of these over here, just so that it's kind of taking up the same amount of space on each side. Then it's 7, but in actuality, we could probably use another one for potatoes, and so instead of reducing the rate of nether wart, we'll just further increase the rate of potatoes. Maybe that's the solution. I don't know, I'll deal with that later, but I'm happy with how this turned out. I think it looks pretty cool. And now I would say that our room with Greg the Wither is pretty much complete. And I will say too, as a side note, that it does look like we got the timing almost perfect in here, which is great. Although it does look like for some reason, maybe the ether gas is not transferring anymore, that's a little bit weird. So maybe we got to go see what's going on with that. Is there a reason that our ether is no longer coming through here? This is set. Oh, this is set to power now. So there's no ether in here. So we need another one for bringing the ether in. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Okay, well, it doesn't consume much ether per operation. It consumes like maybe 40, so it was just not even noticeable. I need to go deal with that real quick. Then we're going to go set up the rest of the stuff. Okay, so I made another quantum entangloporter to try and fix this issue by just putting another one down, but then I realized that I actually think the ether channel itself has power going to it from the main power, so I believe at least it should up there, so then this should be fine to leave as ether, and these are now good to go. So problem solved, but the timing is correct on these. As we can see, this thing goes down super quick. So we have sped up the system, like made it basically twice as fast. It runs about twice as fast overall because the fermentation station is now the bottleneck. Might be able to get that up to like maybe even 10% faster. But again, just such an awesome addition from Industrial Foregoing. Such a simple thing that is just so good. It's so good, guys. It's just more reasons to give Industrial Foregoing a chance. Okay guys, so now everything else has been taken care of for the episode, and we are going to be doing the main thing that I wanted to do today, that is going to, funny enough, be the smallest portion of the episode, which is going to be crafting the infinity drill. Now, I think this is a super cool idea for a tool because it's going to act like a drill, and as you put more power into it, it's going to go up in tiers. And I believe there are 7 tiers. If we take a look at the infinity tools, there's a lot of them. You have the infinity trident, drill, backpack, saw, hammer. They even have something that I eventually want to use at the end of the series called the infinity nuke, which can really be devastating. But they got a lot of these. And the idea is with all of them, they have 7 tiers. And when you start out there at the poor tier, and as you put more power into them, they go up. So as you get through these power thresholds, they tier up to the next tier. And the example for the infinity drill is it just gets better. So it currently, when you first start out, can mine a 1x1x1, then a 3x3x1, then a 5x5x1, so on and so forth until you are at the final tier, which is the artifact tier, I believe, which is a 13x13x13. And while that may seem a little intimidating and maybe you don't need that, you can also lower the area to any of the prior tiers areas. So you don't need to always mine in that size. But the cool thing is you can input biofuel from Industrial Foregoing, of course. You need it to be that one, like I said, and it will expend biofuel instead of power. So obviously you can use the power, but then it might tier down. So if you supply it with biofuel, then it'll go through that, and the power will just be there as sort of you've progressed this far to the next tier. So that's what we're going to be working on. I want to see if we can have an artifact infinity drill by the end of the series. Look at how much power that needs. I don't even know what that number is. I'm not going to try and say it. It's some number that's that's really, really big. So, challenge to Lash if he sees this. Let's see which one of us can complete this. And if both of us do, then awesome. We both did it. But a challenge to see if you can fill the entire infinity drill or one of the infinity tools, whichever you choose, completely full by the end of the series. But to make this, if we take a look in here into my backpack, I have all the stuff needed to do it. We got to do some dissolution chamber crafting, and we're going to put it back down in its nice home over here where it was sitting for a while when it was getting latex for me and crafting all the add-ons, but I need to find a place for this. People suggest that I automate it. Maybe we'll do that in an episode sometime. Automate the dissolution chamber processing. That would be pretty fun. But we're going to be putting down just a quantum entangloporter to give this a bit of power. So we'll set that. We need 2,000 millibuckets of pink slime. So that should be good right there. And we need some really random things, I guess. It is blocks of diamond, gold gears, a plus 12, and I don't want it in the add-on slot, but a plus 12 add-on for range, and a diamond shovel. And that's right, this is an outputting power. I was really confused. I was like, what did I do wrong? I didn't put it on auto eject either. There we go. Now it should be running. So really not that expensive, honestly, to make this, other than it's annoying that it needs a tier 12 range add-on. And I guess maybe to some people, if you're trying to make this early, the diamonds are expensive. But either way, we'll get this and then we'll charge it up a little bit. And it blasts through the early tiers really quickly when you're charging it. So here is the infinity drill. We got some quests complete. If we go and take a look at these, let's see. We've got a lot of quests that need to be completed, so we can like mass complete them by clicking this. Super satisfying. I completed more quests with those quests. Well, let's complete those. Did I get any more? No. Okay. I thought I might have gotten a chain completion of quests. Wow. What? There's some random stuff in here. I don't know what is this? What do you use that for? That looks really weird. We got some biofuel. Okay. Well, we'll put this stuff away, this random stuff in here away for now. And we'll just go and mess around then with our infinity drill. So we're going to charge it up. And in here, we've been making some power here. And so we should be good to put this in. And I don't want to take all of our power. Obviously, we got plenty in here. But you can see it is now on the rare tier. And it's filling up. So what is the rare tier? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're on the 4th tier. So epic is the 5th tier. So we should get there, and then I'll stop at epic, and then we'll go fill it up with some biofuel, and we will take a look at how this runs. Obviously, very easy to get through the beginning tiers here. Epic is going to take a little bit more to get up to legendary, and then legendary, it's like falling off a cliff, right? I mean, it's going to take so long once you get to legendary, which I assume is the purpose. But now we are at the epic tier right here. So this one should be good. We got this cool purple color on it. Very nice. I believe you can enchant these too. So if we want to toss it, it makes it look kind of weird, but if we want to toss it in our enchantment factory, we can see. No, we don't want to dump stuff in there. Let's see. I don't know if the enchants actually affect this, but we can enchant it. Silk Touch, Curse of Vanishing. What is that? That doesn't sound good. And Unbreaking. Okay. Well, if those impact it, that's really cool. If not, well, it's really shiny now, but it's got some serious texture issues with the enchant on the drill head because it's side. I don't even know. But either way, now we can fill it up with some biofuel. No, do we can right click on it, or do we need to? Yep. Okay. So we just right click on it. We steal all the biofuel out of it, all the very little biofuel in there. But now we'll use that if we go to mine stuff. And I believe if we shift right click, we have charging enabled, and we can switch from the 1x1x1 to 3x3x1 to 5x5x1 to 7x7x1, 9x9x1, and that's the highest we can go. So we can do some serious damage with this if we want to go take it out for a test drive. I've been told in the comments, some people, very small minority of people were annoyed that I didn't go outside more, even last episode when I told them, unfortunately you're kind of out of luck here because most of the base is underground, so we're not going to go outside much. But let's give this a go down here, and let's see how nice it is. Oh my gosh, it's so nice. Oh my god. It goes, does it go up from the bottom block that you mine? Oh, it mines it at face level and then goes up. That's so weird. That is so weird. Okay, so how much biofuel do we use? That's actually not that bad. So what does it use per operation here? We're at 3670 and okay. So it uses like 405. That's not bad. I assume it uses less too if we decrease the area. So if we go all the way down to this, does it use less? Is it per block? Yeah, it's probably per block that it mines then. Wow. Okay, well that's really cool. Let's just light this up because stuff's gonna spawn here if we don't. I think this is super cool. I don't know if there's any way. Maybe I'd unenchant it because I don't really like the messed up texture on it. But if there's a way around that, or if that's like Optivine or something, someone can tell me, because I love this tool. But man, I do not want to hold it because that looks a little bit wonky, and I feel like it would bother you guys too. But that's probably going to be it for the episode today, guys. I do want to give you a heads up if you watched to this point. I'm probably going to do a community post. I already posted it on Twitter, but I am recording this video a day earlier than I usually do because tomorrow I am getting hit by Hurricane Henry. I don't know if you pronounce it differently, but it's spelled like Henry. So Hurricane Henry, and I live on the coast of Connecticut. So we're getting hit with like a category 1, potentially category 2 hurricane, which hasn't hit Connecticut and all of New England hasn't been hit by one in 30 years. So I'm going to lose power. I'm going to lose internet. How long that happens for, I do not know. But I'm not going to be able to do my typical recording schedule, most likely, unless and we have a really good utility provider in our town that's specific to our town. And so they usually get it back up like 3 times as fast as every other town around us that has a statewide provider. But I still think I'm going to be out of power and internet for a while, probably a couple days. So if there's no video on Thursday, that's going to be why. So hoping for the best. Hoping I have it back by Wednesday and can record an episode for you guys. But if not, that is why. I apologize. I appreciate you guys being understanding. Just wanted to give you a heads up in case you're coming into the channel to look for stuff and why there might be a delay, because I don't think I've missed an upload in a long time. Ever since we started the schedule for months now, I have not missed an upload. So just a heads up. And if you guys are also being hit by the storm, please be safe and make sure you stay inside, hunker down. Make sure, everything's all good. I wish you the best of luck. And if you guys enjoyed today's episode, be sure to give the video a like and be sure to subscribe so you never miss out on a future episode, as they come out every Monday and Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, assuming there is no hurricane currently hitting me. An important stipulation, I guess, to put at the end of every one of those little subscriber message things at the end of my episodes. But yeah, I will talk to you guys later.